Oh, sweet mother of
Bacon!
So, I'll give you a moment to dry your eyes for a second, and then.
Not me, that's you.
We saw you.
Oh yeah, right. You.
I mean, I'm really sorry. I don't know. I honestly thought he was gonna make it, but I was right about Julie. Again.
About what?
Remember, I said he gonna find Julie. I said she is the thing.
Oh, the seed crystal.
Yeah, she's the thing. I mean, my problem.
So Julie and Miller are dead now. And Eros has crashed into Venus.
But Julie ain't dead.
Why do you think she's not dead? There was a nuke on that thing.
It may have been.
And it crashed into a planet going probably at least 80 or 90,000 kilometers an hour. So it was going pretty damn fast.
Okay.
It's a lot of energy releasing up.
Even if that's the case. Even if that's the case. We don't know what's on Venus.
Yeah, we do.
You know.
Humans have a pretty good understanding of what's on Venus.
We might be on Venus.
Methane, sulfur.
But it's a nice
carbon dioxide.
And we have breathing apparatus.
No, we can't breathe on Venus.
And all that stuff, you know, and we on there and Venus, we got people.
Venus would kill you dead if you went to Venus.
No, well, I'm only joking right now,
yeah.
but
there's a lot of pressure, and the atmosphere is acidic, like eat right through you pretty much.
No, I was thinking about Miller.
You can survive in the upper atmosphere, but you have to have like floating cities, basically.
And I tell you, he's a character that I liked. And even though we didn't really get to see Julie, she's a character that I like too. You know, because they were just introducing her when she got sick. But her values were admirable. Unlike his dad, unlike her dad, okay, who would have sacrificed the whole earth to see what happened. But
no, that's why they did the thing on Eros, because they didn't want to sacrifice the earth. Remember, it's just like when I brought up the syphilis experiments. Who did they do that on? The people that they valued the least.
But
you know, and it's the same thing. They did it to Eros because on Eros it's basically nothing but belters.
That
the people they valued the least.
That may have been the case, but I can't get over Mr. Mao using his daughter as a guinea pig.
He didn't. Remember, she wasn't deliberately infected. She got infected because of her actions to try to stop the.
Either way, she got infected.
His whole thing was like once he realized that it happened was like.
But she got infected.
Yeah.
But well, it was sort of like a sad episode.
I'd categorize that as an understatement.
But let's get back to the real point. Now, we don't know whether she and Miller just died in this episode. We don't know what happened to the little spores and all that stuff. They come out the little crystals and everything. But don't forget about that canister. That canister.
That's right. There is.
That's behind the asteroid. And who stuck it back there?
Naomi.
You sure it was her? And not Holden?
It was Naomi. Holden wanted to shoot it into the sun. Remember?
They should have shot it into the sun.
Naomi thought that they should preserve the sample in case
they should have shot it in the sun.
But,
because there's a chance that
so not all the bad decisions or potentially bad decisions are made by Holden. So
well, okay.
There's lots to go around.
But there's a chance that Miller and Julie are dead. We really don't know.
I would say it's a very high probability that Julie and Miller are dead.
We really don't know.
Considering what we just saw.
She did say that he belonged with her, and I really honestly believe he did.
I do think it was interesting that he saw her say that to him. And think about it. The bird guided him to her.
Of course.
And her last vision before being taken by the protomolecule was of him walking towards her with a bird in front of him.
Of course.
So it's literally like that moment had happened for them both at different points in their life already.
Well, he loved her.
It's like they were
And
weird soulmates of some weird
yeah,
thing.
he loved her. You know,
Each
that's
one
why he
only
was so
meeting the
desperate.
other at the end of their existence.
He was so desperate to find her. But unfortunately, all that other stuff happened. But, well, we may have gotten rid of one threat, but here comes another one in that canister behind that asteroid. So they can tell me whatever they want.
Also, Earth
That
just
was a
lost.
bad idea.
Also, Earth just lost half of its nuclear arsenal.
Yes, it did. Listening to the bad advice of, what's his name?
But it wasn't bad advice. It was perfectly good advice at the time. What would you have done?
I don't know.
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
It was good. It was not bad advice at the time. It was smart. It was a smart decision to make. How was anyone supposed to know that Eros was going to be able to defy almost every law of physics we understand? I mean, not only was it moving on its own, but it was accelerating.
When it first dodged
Like
the Nabu, that should have told them right then and there. You know,
I can't remember the math to calculate it.
And then she thought she was racing the ship. So
yeah,
she sped up.
She kept speeding up because she thought that the Rocinante was chasing her in a race.
And thank God for Miller. Because Miller said, stop chasing her.
Because of his investigation, he had learned enough about Julie that he was able to put the pieces together with what he was hearing and what was going on. But yeah.
But it was a good episode. It was a sad one. I hated to see Miller die.
She put all of her effort into guiding, into making the proto-molecule. Because like she said, she couldn't stop it. You can't stop the work. And that's the first time we hear that phrase.
It won't be the last.
But she was able to exert just enough control to change its course. Because it was going toward Earth. Because remember.
Oh, definitely.
Just like
she wanted to go home.
Well, it's not just that. Just like they hypothesized, that it was aimed at Earth originally when it was.
It needed a lot of mass.
So it was probably always going to try to go back to Earth, but she was able to nudge it to the closest planet the second closest planet to the sun. So
what if it was one of those things that originated on Earth billions of years ago?
So then why would it have been?
And it wanted to come home, like Julie.
So you think that Phoebe was what?
It missed.
No, but you're saying it left and then wanted to come back. So you think what do you think Phoebe was then? A life form or something?
No, I don't know what Phoebe was. All I know is that crystal thing.
Julie.
Yeah, I mean,
because before it came back to awareness, when he basically woke her up, you saw like all the sparkles in his eyes,
right.
And then they basically went away, or they faded, and she became sort of normal, like she had normal looking eyes again, except for obviously being made of whatever she's made of now. But
she's made of crystal.
But it was like she wasn't aware of what was happening. Like she said, she dreamt that she was racing the Razorback. So,
now, an entity that can dream, that's not human. And it's dreaming because of all the. It's dreaming because of all the energy it's absorbed from all the people.
I'm probably going to call the marathon first day at this point, because this is a pretty good point to stop at.
Yes, it is. I need to think.
It's the end. It's the end of a chapter, so to speak. Obviously.
And I need to grieve.
I need a Kleenex.
Yeah, we got to pay our respects to Miller and Julie.
I didn't know Miller.
The shortest and most doomed love of all time.
Well, at least he won't die of radiation poisoning.
No, even though I guess you could say he died of an ultra massive dose of radiation poisoning.
That's true. The nuke. Not just one, but 5. No, 6.
No, there were way more than 6. Because remember, they were just one team. There were several teams around there putting nukes all around the thing.
Well, there was a lot of nukes.
Yeah. But and plus,
and it just destroyed the planet.
We didn't destroy it. I won't tell you. I won't tell you how the collision with Venus happens in the books. It is a little different.
Well, I'm glad you don't.
Because it would. I think it would be a little bit of a spoiler. I'm actually really glad that they did it the way they did it in the show, because I think it preserves something that the books gave away a little bit by having it done the way they did it.
Well, a lot of us, like myself, have not read the books.
No, I understand that.
So,
that's why I'm being deliberately.
We are enjoying
avoiding it.
the show.
Talking about the books. I do want to talk about it later when it won't spoil anything anymore.
Yeah, we are enjoying the show.
At the end of the season, I will be able to tell you what they changed about the way this happened.
Okay.
Because there's something that happens at the end of the season that is the reason why I think they changed it now. Because then it would have made what you see later more. It wouldn't have been a surprise. You know what I mean? There's so just like this was a surprise.
This was a very big surprise.
Story ends.
A very sad one.
So basically the state we're in right now, that's something to recap. So Earth, we already know the state they're in. Mars, of course, was monitoring all of this. So now Mars knows that Earth has lost half of its arsenal.
Excellent.
May not fully believe that Earth wasn't responsible for what was happening on Eros, just like how Earth was like thinking Mars was responsible for what was going on.
Earth wasn't.
No, I mean in terms of
responsible, but
moving the
Mr. Mao was.
It's entirely possible that Mars reached the same conclusion that this was somehow some sort of weird weapons experiment or something. Both sides are going to be suspicious of the OPA right now.
Oh yeah, now.
And the motives for Fred Johnson for doing this. You still have the Nauvoo out there.
But he can always send them.
Shooting off in whatever direction it's shooting off in at the moment.
Wouldn't that be something to just
like 40,000
back?
kilometers an hour.
To just pan back to the Nauvoo still going and going and going, like
going.
the Energizer.
Which is actually kind of ironic because I see the episode that's coming up next, and it's
like
ironic.
the Energizer Bunny.
And we're at a moment where the next episode is entitled Paradigm Shift, and there's a huge paradigm shift.
It's gonna be a shift. I can see that.
Oh, and we met Colonel Janus. I think he was a colonel. The guy who was talking about how if they blew up Eros with the missiles, they wouldn't know whether or not they created
spores, whatever would fall on Earth.
And he was like, "Oh, we don't have time for your science experiments, or whatever." The reason why he said that is because that's basically what his job is. He's like a science expert in the military, and
well, he may be a science expert.
He was absolutely right. I mean, you create a bunch of tiny
little fragments and stuff coming from it,
and you need to be able to know where they're going to go.
Well, that's hard to predict. I mean, this has been a roller coaster. This episode, really serious emotional roller coaster, because I did like Miller, and I wanted to see him last for a little while longer, but.
Yeah, he's you know what I always how I always go. There's a character in every series that I always call the Londo Mollari of the series, right? It's like they have their dreams, and it's like the universe is just like, no, you don't get to have those things.
Well, no, you get to have the dream.
He did.
He actually found her.
He finally found her. He met her.
He actually found her.
And I guess in a sense you could say he rescued her.
She was alive.
In a sense, because he was able to bring her back to awareness for her last moments.
Right. And I knew he loved her.
Yeah, it's one of those weird things.
Because they kept asking, why was he so
obsessed with trying to find her? He didn't. I mean, it didn't start with it wasn't one of those love at first sight kind of things. It was just the more he learned about her, I think it was the more he learned about her, the more he realized that it was the kind of person he had wanted his whole life.
That may have been the case.
Probably didn't even know that was missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it may have been the case. I thought about it, and I'm like,
I do think Dawes was right too. Though
I said, "Oh, Dave."
Julie had known him. That she was spat in his face.
And that
I think that's true.
That probably was true.
So it was interesting to see.
But luckily, he got the chick while she was down.
That's messed up, man.
He got the chick.
That's messed up.
He got the chick while she was down, and unfortunately, just like Romeo and Juliet, it didn't have a good end.
So, from the Belt faction, Fred now has some questionable things to answer for to the
A
rest
lot
of,
of
to the
them
rest
do.
of the leader of the belt, the leadership of the OPA.
A lot of them do.
He already has the issue of being a
A
non-belter
traitor.
who is in a position of leadership. But he also
He was considered a traitor.
But he killed one of their own. He traded information with the leader of Earth,
Mhm.
and he attempted to help the leader, the Earth, survive.
Well,
You know
a
what I mean?
decent
A lot
person
of
would have done that.
Yeah, but quite a few belters would see all of those things as traitorous acts.
Well, go Johnson.
So his position may be a little precarious at this point because of that. Like I said, I mean, we already know what the situations are with Mars and the belt. Oh yeah, and it's been a couple episodes since we checked in with Gunny and her team, and
Well, they
so
want to fight Earth.
Well, I'm going to remind you though where they've been sent. They've been sent to Ganymede, just basically to stand guard on Ganymede. Ganymede is extremely important to everyone in the system. You'll see why. But there's a reason why it's actually pretty important for everybody to kind of guard it. You may have noticed that Phoebe was a joint UN Mars thing.
Yes.
There's a lot of that in the system. One of the things the show doesn't really go deep into detail on is the fact that the system was basically governed in joint cooperation with Mars and the UN working together. So a lot of the places the major places in the system are controlled by them both together.
Well, all I know
Ganymede
is
one of those places.
UN, Mars, Earth.
Earth is the UN.
We just lost a great man, Miller.
Can I get an ad?
And we're going to take this time to mourn him. And so,
They do belter salute, Mom.
coffee to you, Miller.
Sasake. It means you know what I mean. Anyway,
Ow! Okay.
So long, Cope me. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out with us and watching this binge of The Expanse Season 2. That was Episode 5, Home.
Yes, it was.
The tragic end of Julie and Miller, the most star-crossed lovers since Romeo and Juliet.
It is a shame. And remember, take the time to mourn them. But don't forget about that canister that's hiding behind that asteroid.
If Miller's middle name was Romeo or something.
Oh, gosh.
Because her first name is technically Juliet.
Exactly.
But his name is Josephus. But, and of course they just shortened it to Joe.
But like I said, don't forget about that canister that's hiding behind that asteroid.
Most of the people watching this have seen it before. Because as they know, this isn't like, how you watch the show. You go out, get your own copy of the damn show, people. It's a great show. Get Amazon Prime or something so you can watch it. Plus, you can watch a whole bunch of other stuff too. They don't pay me for this, but hey, Amazon, if you want to pay me some money for this kind of stuff, then hey, hit me up. I'm never going to turn down free money. But
let's just sit in and have a good time together.
Yeah, definitely.
And enjoy watching a good show.
We will be back soon with the back half of Season 2. And you guys all know what I'm waiting for her to see. It's going to make her jaw go all the way down to here.
I've guessed a few things already.
Yeah, she actually has made some pretty uncanny guesses. You won't guess this, though. It's literally impossible for you to guess.
Go,
this.
Mom!
But thanks again, guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Lots of happy gifts. And if you don't believe in Christmas, that's fine. Still have a happy time. I don't believe in Christmas either, so she believes
This is a time to be thankful.
But it's still a nice happy time of year, and everybody gets presents
and be with family. It's not about the presents.
I hope you get some presents. It's not about the presents, but I still hope you get some presents.
It's about family, love, and time.
And food.
Yeah.
And also presents.
Okay.
Anyway, bye-bye.
Whatever. Bye.